Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Get Real Gaming podcast, the show where we get real talking about the latest video game news and releases. I'm Richard, and with me is my squad mate, co-host, Lawrence. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. And we've got the rest of the squad with us live.
The boys in.
Squad.
Here we are today.
It's the sister group.
It's the boys from Get Real, the original podcast.
The OG.
You mean the podcast where we get real about all of our favourite pop culture films and TV shows?
Oh, there it is.
That's right. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So this is Chris and Sam. I know you'll reintroduce yourselves. You can go ahead.
I'm Chris, and his.
Yeah, and I'm Lawrence.
Wait, what? Don't confuse people.
We're here to hijack the podcast, boys.
No, but
How
seriously, I'm Sam, and this is Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello. Hello.
We are part of the Get Real film and TV podcast that's just called Get Real across all of the places you listen to your podcasts. And yeah, that's us. We do film and TV and other nerdy stuff that isn't video games. But we do video games every now and then.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on the podcast, boys. It's glad to finally have the squad all here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We're all here. We're all gathered here today.
I'm tempted to bring in an old reference, but I daren't on the podcast.
No, you better not. You better not.
No, it's
What
not time
reference
for the
would that
reunion.
be?
It's,
No,
It's a
it's
certain
not time.
reunion.
Does it begin with an I and end with a O?
W. Did you forget what he ended with?
How can
Anyway.
you forget that legend? Anyway, get on with it.
We're all here today because we have been playing Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, and that's going to be what we're talking about mainly today. But firstly, we should probably talk about what's happened this week in gaming, Lawrence, because quite a lot happened this week in gaming. It was a very busy week.
It was a very busy launch week, wasn't it?
That's right. I'm looking at the list of launch titles this week, and wow, after Bakugan, it was just Paw Patrol from last week. We had just a lot of crazy. We had a lot of crazy releases.
Bakugan, boys. Let's go.
We had
Paw Patrol.
Yeah, well, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remastered came out.
Yeah.
That was November 6th, so that was last week. And then from the 10th, we had Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah, we had Assassin's Creed Valhalla as well.
Yeah. Tetris Effect Connected on the Xbox
wow.
Series X.
User came out as well. That's a pretty interesting game.
And actually, the Xbox Series X came out everywhere, but the PlayStation 5 isn't out here yet. So in the UK right now, we're still waiting till the 19th. So it would technically be the Thursday.
It'd be tomorrow.
It would be tomorrow if you're listening to this the day that it comes out.
Yeah, it would be tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people in the UK have received the games and the controllers, though, but just not the console.
That's just
Oh
cruel.
yeah, that's everywhere. I've seen that in
That's just
Australia. People like having the special edition versions of a game that comes with a watch and no bloody PlayStation to play it on, and having a controller.
God.
And it's like, yeah, you're just gonna sit there. I've heard I think in Australia, I think it's Amazon that have struggled to fulfill orders on time. So
Oh, man. Yeah.
I'll tell you what else was cruel. The episode 5 of Night City Wire, the cyberpunk kind of thing, comes out on Thursday 19th when the game was originally meant to come out.
Oh, what a shame. That game is just never coming out at this point. That game is like the new Mutants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the new Half-Life 3.
Well, also
It's
the
just a meme. It's a
longer-waited
conspiracy.
Bug Snacks came out as well. And as we all know,
The game we were all waiting for.
yes, exactly. It's done better than Godfall, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's done better than Godfall.
I have
which
never
came out.
found myself having to Google so much stuff being on an episode of a podcast trying to keep up.
I did my research.
And the Sims,
You guys were telling us the Metacritic scores for these games. Are you going to run through that with us as well? Because
well,
like you
there's just
said,
too
wasn't
many
Bugsnax
this
like
week.
far and away better than Godfall?
just so many. I mean, okay, look, the Sims 4 Snowy Escape expansion pack. It's gotten 73 on Metacritic. There you
but
go.
that's also got a lot of technical issues. So I've got the Metacritic up right now.
Oh yeah,
What did you say The Sims got?
at 73.
Godfall got 63.
So
An expansion for The Sims.
yeah, an expansion pack did better.
Guys,
Does anybody remember the Nightlife DLC for Sims 2?
Oh my god, yes.
Sims 2 now.
Guys, I'm on Rotten Tomatoes trying to find the scores for these games. I just can't find them anywhere.
It's Metacritic. You're on the wrong thing, bro. Wrong podcast.
That's the wrong one.
To put into comparison, Bugsnax, which is the second worst game according to Metacritic, is 74. It's 11 points higher than Godfall.
But when you type in Bugsnax into Google, it actually comes up with fruit in the shape of bugs.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what it is.
It's SNAX. That's where I'm going around.
I've just checked.
It's extreme. We're back in the 90s, boys.
I've just checked the user score for Godfall. It's 5.1 out of 10.
Oh my
I thought
God.
that game was meant to be good. I thought people were quite hyped because it's meant to be like the new
It's
Borderlands,
Gearbox.
isn't it?
It's Gearbox, fam.
But that's why
You
it's
were
so
looking at
shocking
very
because
different things.
But Borderlands is a good game.
Is it? Yeah, Borderlands is the only good game that they've got. Didn't you guys see Colonial Marines made by Gearbox?
Oh, that was also made by Gearbox.
Yeah.
No, that's a scary game, Lawrence. I don't play anything
No,
scary.
no.
as
That's
Crystal Man.
Isolation.
Oh.
That was Isolation. you're
Colonial
thinking of.
Marines was meant to be the action-packed one, and it just got dragged through development hell. I remember that.
Yeah, Colonial
Jeez.
Marines was not
That was
good.
360 days back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But speaking of scary games, though, Demon's Souls also came out on PS5. That's doing pretty well, 93 on Metacritic. So there's a lot of hype around that.
I think that and Spider-Man's the flagship games, aren't they?
Yeah, and interestingly, the Spider-Man Miles Morales, I was watching some stuff about that this morning. They've got two graphics setting modes in the game that you can swap between performance mode and the higher graphics mode. And in the performance mode, it runs at 60 frames a second, but turns off the ray tracing and all of the reflections in the buildings and stuff. But then if you want it to look really beautiful, it'll still run at 30 frames a second and just then turn all the reflections on in all the buildings and all the glass windows and in the cars and things like that, and the reflections and stuff.
Are you telling me that console players are now having to deal with graphical settings on their consoles?
That's exactly what I'm getting at. They're getting options and choices, and
It sounds to me like they're slowly turning into the best PC master race.
Couch
well,
gaming
yeah,
master
but-
race.
The thing is, though, it's going to deliver near enough the same quality gaming, but for half the price of a high-end PC.
yeah. And for a lot of people who, if you're putting your console in the living room or something anyway, you probably don't have a 120 hertz monitor sat there as your TV at the moment. So it's probably pretty good for those kind of people.
Speaking of Miles Morales, there's been a couple of issues with the PlayStation 5. I don't know whether you've got this penciled in to talk about later, but there was an issue with putting it into rest mode, where basically the remastered version of Spider-Man is running crashes and it crashes the whole system while it's in rest mode.
Oh, wow.
And it forces you to repair your external drive process when you start backing up.
Yeah.
And I know there's been another couple of issues where it's been I don't know whether it's in the transfer, but basically you've had to factory reset your PS5. So it doesn't seem like it's had as much of a smooth launch as what the Series. I mean, obviously, apparently the Xbox Series X was blowing out vape smoke all by itself out the top of it.
Blowing vape smoke into it, yeah.
But at least these are some actual problems that, it's not good to hear problems, but at least, people can be aware, and maybe if they're torn between a PS5 or a Series X, that might be a difference for some people.
The
on
Series
the
X
reliability
launched with no games, pretty much. The PlayStation 5 is screwing up all the other games.
And it launched with no functionality, that one.
Yeah, just
Well, people
get
have
a
been having
Switch.
trouble with the Series X as well, because when you first boot it up and try to log into your profile and everything like that, for the initial startup, it needs to connect to the internet in some way. So a lot of people are having issues with that, if it's not finding the internet properly and stuff. Obviously, if you plug it in LAN, then it seems to be loading all right. But people are having major issues. It's taking half an hour or something to boot up for the first time.
That's me not buying a
but
Series
people were
X.
thinking, I was people
very
thinking that
rocky.
the console was broke, but it wasn't. It just needed to find the internet. But it didn't give you enough options to find your internet before that point. It was just trying to auto connect type thing.
Yeah.
Seems a very, very rocky launch for both of them then.
uses your phone, doesn't it? To if you've got the Xbox app, you can connect to the new Xbox via the phone app, and then it just moves all of your data over. But I'm wondering whether you would assume that maybe the internet part of that would come with those settings, but maybe they don't.
But at least the Xbox comes with Game Pass and stuff.
Yeah.
Or that backwards catalogue, at least.
Yeah, I think it's going to be rocky for both in terms of releases for a while before the games even start getting... Like, there's a lot of PS5 games that don't really take as much advantage as they could of the new triggers and stuff as well. And even their PS4 back catalogue don't do anything with that. So I think it'll be a while before there's like a lot of games designed just for the next-gen consoles. Most of them at the moment are just kind of, they're on PS5, and there's very few of them that are dedicated for PS5 and also PS4. Most of them are like PS4, but we've got a PS5 version. So
an enhanced edition.
Enhanced, very much so. So speaking of games that can be played right now, Sam and Chris, what have you guys been playing this week? Who wants to start?
He's showing us up here with the bloody segues here, isn't he? We got to take some notes, Chris. God. we need this.
Well, you became the master of segues, so I leave our segues to you now, unless it's the MCU.
I'm like frantically writing notes here.
The students have become the master. Do you want to go first, Sam?
Yeah, okay.
Other than COD. Oh my God.
Right.
Now I've got you.
No,
We do accept board games.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean. Well, I've been playing D&D, right? And
No,
Yes.
we do.
The party is here.
the whole party minus one is
Asahi.
here. But anyway, no, I have actually been playing another game. I've been delving into Game Pass a little bit while I was waiting for Cold War to come out. And I think it was like about a year ago, I started playing through Ori and the Blind Forest. And I went back to it and started playing through it again and got a lot further and really, really enjoyed it. It's definitely a feel-good game. I don't know, have any of you guys played Ori? Any of the Ori games?
I didn't play that much, actually. But
Yeah, I didn't play that much
So,
either.
I got it when it first dropped on Game Pass, and I did the same thing as you. Like, the day that I installed it, I think I sank like 3-4 hours into it because it's just a gorgeous looking game and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And some of like the puzzles get tricky, or the 2D side-scrolling like parkour shit against like rising floods and stuff. But,
That's it.
You just lose yourself in it, don't you? It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's challenging enough where it doesn't put you off, where it gets frustrating. It's like you know what to do, and a lot of it, like, there's a certain jumping puzzle where something like these things are shooting like an energy or whatever that hurts you down two sides, and you basically need to like wall bounce your way up, and you know what you need to do by looking at it, but it's just that whole like actual skill with your controller trying to get up there. But it looks beautiful. The soundtrack is amazing. It totally wrenches on your heartstrings, that game. It's so beautiful. And I can't, like, it's nice because even though you feel like you've unlocked a lot and done it, it has the whole, like, when you pause, you can see, like, the completion estimate, like the percentages for things that you've unlocked, and you're able to see like most of the map as of when you move through the areas, so you'll know the bits where you then need to go back once you've unlocked a certain skill.
Yeah, it's like proper Metroidvania, but it's such a beautiful game. And that and its sequel have just come out on Switch as well.
Yeah,
I think they're getting a physical release in December or January.
Yeah, so I'm trying to smash through. Obviously, COD's put a bit of a dent in that, but I'm going to try and smash through it in between every now and then, so I can move on to Will o' the Wisps. And I don't think I've really played anything else. No,
other than COD.
Yeah. Other than a lot of Cold War and trying to do my battle pass on Modern Warfare, and that's it.
Nice. Chris, have you been playing anything else different?
Other than those two, a little bit of Animal Crossing. I've recently got a Switch. I got it like end of August, beginning of September. Yeah. So just trying to build up a catalogue of games on there. So I recently picked up Animal Crossing for me and the missus to play.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. I'm not like one of the diehard fans of it because it is very much a game of routine and stuff like that, and I'm not good at keeping routines. Like it rewards you for going back every day and you doing your daily stuff, and like I'm not really. I'm a creature of habit, but I'm not a creature of routine. So
yeah, sure.
I do enjoy it, and I love the aesthetic of it and stuff. But the missus has been doing it. I didn't realise though if you're both playing on the same console, it automatically puts you on the same island, which I wanted my own island.
Oh no.
And it's annoying, like if one person starts like the next like mission to progress the game type thing, the other person can't do anything towards it.
Yeah.
So it's been like multiple times where Charlotte started something.
Yeah.
And like we've needed like shit tons of stone and iron and
like she built a bridge or something and you're like,
and wood and stuff. So she's trying to collect it, but there's only a certain amount you can get each day and stuff from the resources on the island. So I'm doing my stuff and then just dropping it outside of her house for next time she logs on. So she wakes up on the beach every day and there's just like shed tons of rocks and wood outside of her house and stuff. It looks like a dump truck's just swept it up. Yeah.
This is the best time of year for you to be like building up your catalog though, because if you've only just really gotten a Switch, you're gonna have like Black Friday deals are already starting, and then there'll be like Christmas sale, then there'll be like, you know, Boxing Day, New Year. So it's a good time to be like because there's a lot of games that came out on the Switch that are now getting like small discounts on the eShop. Most people who've when that game came out, they will already have bought the game. So now they're just trying to pick up extra sales from new people. It's a perfect opportunity for you to get them with like good discounts and stuff. So really good.
It definitely is. Back in October, I picked up like Dragon Quest 11, is it? Definitive Edition?
Yeah.
I picked that up. I think it was like 45% off or something. And I got Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 for like 20 quid for the both of them. And I know a lot of people don't like those Final Fantasy games, but they were the first ones I ever played, so I do like those games. I know they're not the best Final Fantasy games.
Sure.
I liked Final Fantasy 13 as well. I just like the format of Final Fantasy, right? So I don't care what skin's on it. I understand 7 is the pinnacle, right? Okay, I get it.
Well, Lawrence would disagree probably.
I grew up on 8, so I started at 8. So
see, I know people who love 9 more than anything as well. So
I'm the child in the corner playing Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah,
lost
get back in the corner.
I'm the guy here smiling because I've never played Final Fantasy, and I'm just like,
burn the witch.
But a lot of these games that I picked up while they were just on sale, and I'm waiting until I can set up my stream again and then play some like nice story-driven games on stream and stuff. So I've not delved into Dragon Quest yet, but I'm so excited to it. It looks so good.
Excellent. And Lawrence, have you been playing anything else? You have actually, haven't you? You've been playing...
I've played quite a few games this week.
You can say for the both of us, I haven't really played anything different this week.
I've been playing Fuser. I've been giving Fuser a little bit of a go, which is a new rhythm game from the same guys that did Rock Band. But it's more of like you're at a festival and you're a DJ and you get to use stems from like, you know, real music and kind of mix them all together and try and keep the set going and the crowd going and all that.
I think they've announced in January as well. There's a massive like new catalog of music coming to it as well.
Ooh! So is it like like in Guitar Hero or Rock Band, for instance, you couldn't make mistakes and stuff, but when you're remixing, is there like what is the mechanic in terms of?
It's like throughout the music, there's like you can see the beats on the screen. You have to drop in the next stem at a certain point to get a score, or otherwise it'll be a bad mistake.
Yeah.
And then there's bonuses, which the like little tabs will be coloured. When you drop the track on that like coloured beat, then you get like a bonus and all that, and then you get requests from the crowd, and it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting mechanic.
That's awesome. Nice. And what else have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
There it is. I was waiting for you to say that.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Do you want to give people a little bit of what you think at the moment? Because obviously we're not doing it as a main topic today, but
I've only I've only synced in like 20 hours into it because it's been difficult to find the time. But I'm really enjoying it. Like I really feel that they brought it back to form. Definitely, I didn't like Odyssey. I thought Odyssey was too grindy and I couldn't get into the story. But Valhalla's if you like the Vikings, the Amazon show, or if you just like Norse mythology or like medieval era stuff, then I would definitely recommend it. It's certainly fun for me at least.
How do Sam and Chris? How do you guys see? Like, what's your opinions on the Assassin's Creed kind of brand at this point? Because for me personally, I'm a bit like burnt out, I guess, and Lawrence is trying to convince me that it's kind of a refreshing Assassin's Creed, but I don't know if I can believe him or not.
Do you want to go first on this?
Yeah, I definitely got burnt out. Like, I played the first, 3 or 4 to death, until I think the first one that I didn't finish and didn't pick anything up after that was 3. I played a tiny bit of Black Flags, but I didn't really get into that. Every time they bring out a new setting and stuff like that, and it really appeals to me. Odyssey was ancient Greece and ancient Rome and stuff like that, and I love that Greek mythology and stuff like that. So I was I might dive back into this because I love all the characters and all the mythology they're bringing back and stuff. But I just couldn't bring myself to play another Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
I think the Ezio storyline was the pinnacle of it for me.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, I was done with it. But I do love the look of it because I also love Viking mythology and Norse mythology. So I'm ooh, and it does look cool, storming beaches and long ships with you guys piling out the long ships, with your axes and pillaging some village. But I just can't bring myself to go back to another Assassin's Creed game.
I don't want to spend the money on an Assassin's Creed game and then just be horribly disappointed again and be I should have known.
I mean,
or I just don't think I'll get enough playtime out of it. I'll play for 2 days or something, put 16 hours into it or something, and then just not go back. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I kind of echo you. I played 1 and 2 and really enjoyed 1, even though it was very grindy. And then when 2 came out, I kind of just felt I was replaying the same game again. And for me, there wasn't enough difference between 2 and 1 for it to really catch me into the franchise. It's it was cool, but it just felt like it was using the same tropes over and over and over again. And the only thing that was really going to pull you in was the setting. But I'm just not invested enough in it. And I get Valhalla's cool, and I know that obviously the focus was a little bit more away from the assassin side of stuff from what I gathered. But yeah, no, the first thing I saw about gameplay wise from Valhalla was someone climb up to the top of a viewpoint, and it was the exact same thing as what happened in Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, where you trigger the viewpoint as a collectible, and just the fact that that's still the same and there's not anything I don't want to have to repeat those collectibles all over again. And I don't know, I think personally I'm just not invested enough in it, a bit like what Chris was saying. I just can't bring myself to play through another one of those games, and I probably never will unless it really breaks the tropes of the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yeah, I think I lost interest after the Ezio story. So he had 3 different games in the end, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and then was it Revelations? Was it called?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where didn't you play as him in 2 different time periods? Was it?
I think
I know
so.
I know you played as an older Ezio at one point.
Yeah, that's Revelations.
Yeah, that was the last one that I played, and I enjoyed that story. But then, I was the stuff outside of the Animus, I don't know where they're going to take that anymore, because that story was done and everything, and Ezio's story was done. So
yeah, I mean they've managed to bring back the modern day stuff with a new character in Origins. Origins was very good. Then they continued it in Odyssey and it got weird, and then now they brought it back in Valhalla. But what they've done in Valhalla is that they've managed to link it back to Desmond and Ezio, and you get to hear kind of the thoughts of Desmond going through this process.
Ezio Auditore.
No, Cassio del Toro.
Yeah.
I would be more interested to see the franchise in a different medium. So there is the Netflix show coming out, which we spoke about on our podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's would be more interesting for me, is to see these characters on screen and see the story take priority over the gameplay almost.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the gameplay that gets really repetitive.
Yeah.
Like Sam said, you're just climbing shit all the time, aren't you? And killing people from the top of a building. I remember Assassin's Creed 1 just playing as Altair, wasn't it? And it was just literally, how can I kill this guy from the highest point up? It's literally you climbing up to the top of every building, just there right, the guy's 400 meters down. This drop's definitely gonna kill me, but I'm gonna stop my fall with his body.
And then you miss and land in a haystack anyway, and you're like, oh, well, that's exactly what I meant to do, obviously.
While we're talking about Assassin's Creed, do you want to mention what happened to Ubisoft Montreal?
Oh.
We're gonna go into that in the news in a moment, I believe.
I just thought it was a good segue.
It is a good segue.
Segue.
I haven't really been playing anything new this week to talk about. We talked about Megaquarium last week, Lawrence.
Yeah, you did.
And I went and I downloaded the expansion for it on PC. I haven't played it yet because I'm still also.
I wonder why.
Why? Well, yeah. Other than all my time on Call of Duty, when I'm not on Call of Duty this week, I've been trying to make sure I don't damage my shoulder anymore because I'm still waiting for a date for surgery. So, but I have tried to get the Steam Link working this week.
Oh yeah,
I kind of did, and it kind of didn't. So I still need to fiddle with it. It's so fiddly, and like you have to buy like another app to like get your controller connected directly to the PC and stuff. So I haven't really figured it out fully yet, but it's something I might be able to update you on next week. We'll have to see.
I completely forgot about the Steam Link.
Anyway, back to Ubisoft Montreal, shall we? Let's go straight into the news this week. We've only got a few bits of small news. It's not a big news thing this week.
Yeah, it's been quiet again this week, hasn't it?
Yeah, but Ubisoft, it's not been quiet at Ubisoft Montreal, has it?
It's not been quiet at all.
I've actually found out what happened now.
Yes, they have actually came out and said what's happened. Kind of. Sort of. Maybe.
Was it a promo for Siege?
New operator, real military force.
No, it wasn't a PR stunt. Basically, if you don't know, there was a 911 call from Ubisoft Montreal about a hostage situation, apparent hostage situation. So all the staff fled to the roof, and it was all live streamed and all over Twitter. And the armed police went into the building and sweeped it. And it turns out there was no hostages at all.
So what actually was the problem then?
Well, they're still investigating that.
Oh.
So we don't know what's happened.
No.
There must have been some sort of altercation for every member of staff to flee to the roof, though, mustn't it?
It's not like a fire alarm went off or something and they all just... I mean, they would have gone the wrong way if that was a fire alarm. Could you imagine?
Best place to get out of a skyscraper during a fire is stand on the roof of the burning building, yeah.
Apparently,
Assassin's Creed, jump off the top into a hay bale.
They got hay bales around the side of the building just in case.
Apparently, this is according to one of the developers. They were told by company security to barricade themselves and set phones on silent and stay hidden and quiet.
Brilliant.
I mean, that must be terrifying.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say they didn't do a very good job considering it was all over Twitter. They didn't say that quiet, did they?
Right?
No, I was literally thinking because we were like playing Cold War at the time, weren't we? When this was happening, and like we were all just like, "Oh shit, something's happened at Ubisoft Montreal, hostage situation." So we're all there on our phones. It's like you see the helicopter footage. Like they haven't barricaded anything. The door up to the roof is half open with just a chair loosely placed behind it, and everyone's just stood around on like looking down at the phones, just texting away, not asked in the slightest. Stood all in front of the door, not even like on the other part of the roof, away from anything. Like, if there was a hostage situation, you would get as far away from that door, you would barricade it, get as far away, and you wouldn't be on your phone on Twitter, would you?
You think it's a monthly thing, and just the police have just caught wind of it?
Just like a monthly hostage situation drill.
To play test.
We
the
have
new
that
map
in
for
work
Siege.
every Friday. We get an email go around just there, like, right, we're testing the fire alarms today. Don't panic. They just get a work memo just there, like, oh, time for the hostage training. Yeah, okay, everybody flee to the roof. Yeah,
we just need to play test the new map from Siege. Okay, we need ideas. Someone be a hostage.
I was going to say, how do you think they get the mocap for the next game? It's just all like... point it to the employees and get them on the roof.
This episode is going to age so poorly if something
It really is.
But
no.
I think, like, obviously we don't know exactly what's happened yet. I think it usually means that well, my take from that would be there's something that they don't want to get out or share or anything, because Ubisoft put out a statement just basically thanking people for wishing them well and stuff like that, but not actually explained anything about what happened. So it's probably
nice,
something that they don't want to lift the cover on just yet.
It was just one angry nerd stormed the building, pissed off about the new Assassin's
It wouldn't
Creed.
surprise me unless it's one person, one angry nerd calling up the cops to the Ubisoft department.
It's possible.
Like swatting Ubisoft.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, their address is kind of open and public, so things like that are possible, I suppose. But yeah, I guess we have to wait to find out more.
Let's hope our jokes weren't in bad taste after the fact.
Just for the record, I stayed quiet throughout that whole thing.
All right.
No. You're
Mr.
an
fucking
accomplice
moral
in this.
high ground over it.
You're an
Fucking
accomplice
Johnny
in this now,
Esport
Sam.
over here taking the moral high ground.
One of us had to.
Yeah. So other than Ubisoft Montreal having some issues this week, we've had some interesting news about some of the new games that have been coming out this week. So we were talking earlier about Demon Souls. Well, there's an article on Kotaku where there's now, because it's basically a remake on the PS5, Demon Souls. There's a new mystery door that's appeared in the game, and everyone is trying to figure out how to unlock the door. So it's not like news, but it's just funny that Reddit is now on a mass frenzy trying to figure out how to open a door in a remastered video game.
I mean,
I'm
to
going
be
to tell you,
honest,
do you want my hot take on what's going to be behind that door?
Go on.
nothing.
A demon.
What?
Whoa,
A boss fight, yeah, probably.
controversial.
To be fair, you say
Definitely.
that about Demon Souls. What the hell were we all doing when Cold War dropped and Zombies Easter egg was being, tacked down? We were on Reddit. We were, what you lot were watching bloody live streams.
I
That's
wasn't.
true.
I was trying to crack it for myself.
So it's
fair,
not,
we
it's not
did-
that
we did
hard
pretty
to
well.
think.
We did do
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Do you know what this reminds me of, though? This door, it could just be nothing. The Mount Chiliad one in GTA 5 that
Yeah.
still hasn't been solved at all.
Yeah, it literally could
I
just be
reckon it's
detail added
Yeah,
to the
it's
map.
literally just, we've got more polygons, let's add a door into this wall so it's not a plain
The
wall.
developers are like frantically trying to then roll out an update to put something behind it. Because they're like,
yeah.
We're
Well,
going
what-
to get so much flack if we don't.
You need to speedrun the game in under a certain amount of time with only a certain weapon, with only one death, and then it unlocks it, and it's probably just going to be I don't know, something like an old Silent Hill reference,
Those weird
when you find out the dog's in control of Silent Hill or something. It's going to be something stupid like that.
Those weird
gonna be a
monkey
chicken
people
sat in a
from
chair.
Halo 3 that are at the very beginning of the game.
Well, apparently it's so some people had used photo mode in the game, and you can take a peek behind the
War
door,
hats.
and apparently there is a balcony where there's a glowing object. And so they're trying to open the door so they can get to the glowing object to see what it does. So people are trying to put on different pieces of armor and gear, trying to open the door with that and stuff. But so far, no luck. So
Can I hazard a guess of what there might be behind there?
yeah, so let's see if we can make this episode not age poorly by you guessing correctly.
Do we reckon that behind the door is an announcement of a sequel?
What, that you touched a glowing object and a trailer for Demon Souls 2? Just,
Maybe
Demon
it
Souls
opens
2 remake.
text or something, or I don't know. I don't know. If it's a balcony, it could be overlooking something. You never know.
I'm not really sure what the story of it is. So maybe who knows?
Because after Demon Souls, they went on to the Dark Souls franchise and Bloodborne and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a sequel to Demon Souls as opposed to the next Dark Souls or something. I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah. Well, it's a theory, so I guess it's probably better than no
That's
theory.
a game theory.
I'm not sure we can use that. I think we've just been copyrighted to hell and back.
Yeah, well, speaking of getting copyrighted for various things on the internet, do you want to talk about the next news article, Lawrence? I'm not sure if I've managed
I'm
to.
all right. I'm all right. Do you want to do it?
No, I've just done
Sam,
one.
take
It's
the
your
lead.
turn.
Oh, okay.
The next news article is
Yeah.
what Lawrence had for tea. What did you have for tea, Lawrence?
This was a good segue until this is happening. The whole thing's ruined.
Okay, I'll bring it back.
Go on.
Twitch streamers are protesting audio takedowns by making their own sound, playing rhythm games with no music.
Wow.
Oh my God. You can imagine this already. And there are video clips of just.
There are video clips of just this guy playing. Is that Rock Band? No, that's
Rocksmith, I think.
Rocksmith, yeah. But there's no like. I think he just muted himself.
Yeah, he's just kind of humming and singing along to the song by himself, but the whole thing's muted. Because he doesn't want to get copyright strike. But fair enough. Yeah,
Just so people can kind of guess what the song is.
literally. Although these days you don't know whether that can even get like. These days you can just ask Google or whatever it is, like, what's this song? And then you'll like sing a bit and it'll go, oh, it's this. And you're like, oh, that's a bit creepy, but thanks.
This is apparently in response to Twitch advice to streamers to mute the sound effects and music so they don't get DMCA'd.
I mean, they're just following the guidance. I mean,
Yeah.
what more can you do?
It's just
Twitch as a platform is so strange because they give you the platform to do these things, but then take no responsibility for, anything like DMCA or any copyrights happening. They're just kind of like the middleman where it's like, well, yeah, but you agreed to take responsibility, so we don't have to do anything.
I've seen that it's led to a load of problems. Like near enough everything on Nick Merckx's Twitch channel has been taken down or muted. And it led to Ninja getting shadow banned for a while. So none of his followers or anything could see that he was live or anything. He wasn't appearing on the front page. He wasn't appearing on, the notification bar down the left-hand side. You had to actually type into your address bar at the top of your browser, twitch.tv/ninja, to actually find out that he was live yet to get to his channel.
That's insane. And I think
I think it was rectified shortly, but it was freaking everyone out when it happened.
Yeah, and it raises a bigger problem for Twitch in general, which is really the fact that I guess by law, Twitch aren't able to give you the right to broadcast and earn money off of, technically speaking, off of other people's games that you might be playing in the first place. But obviously it's just a stupid idea for a game developer to stop a big streamer from live streaming their game, even though if they wanted to legally, it would be considered an infringement of copyright if, for whatever reason, it doesn't fall into the Fair Use Act or something. So it's a very thin line that Twitch have already been treading this whole time, just kind of putting the responsibility on the streamers. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just getting weirder now. It's the whole DMCA copyright claim thing is just getting weirder and weirder this year.
I mean, it shouldn't even be bigger streamers. It should be any streamer. It shouldn't be DMCA'd for playing a game. It's
well, a lot of them as well. It's not just game stuff. It's they're putting other music in the background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which obviously, anybody that looks into it would be like, I probably shouldn't be playing the next fucking Bring Me the Horizon album while I'm streaming COD or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they also need to think why are people coming to the stream? Are they coming to listen to the music, or are they coming to watch the personality and watch the game?
Yeah, they might turn games like that into materials just for things like just chatting, maybe, and you do that so that there's something that they can do while they're chatting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what they need to do is they need to be more clear with this stuff as well. They update the terms of service all the time and stuff, and they're not clear most of the time. And I think that's what a lot of people take issue with.
Yeah, but one of the things that they do when they do update their terms of service and do try to explain things is they give legal advice when they probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I think it also depends on the country as well that you're in.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. It's all different everywhere.
Yeah,
so
they can give legal advice in the US, but if you're in the UK and you get hit by it, their advice is not up to code or...
Yeah, copyright's different per country, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have some news about Steam.
Okay. What is Steam?
The Steam beta, the new Steam beta, has added support for PlayStation 5 DualSense controllers. So,
I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people have been ordering them just to play on PC because apparently they're a pretty good controller.
But does it do the haptic feedback, which is the unique selling point of this controller?
Currently, it doesn't. But they've said, quote unquote, not yet, which means that
it'll be possibly added in the future.
Yeah. So the Xbox Series X controller is already supported, but they have the new triggers that they've got, but they just call it a fancy name and it's just a little bit better. Whereas, PlayStation 5 have this new system that actually needs, I guess, like coding specifically for that controller, the way that the triggers kind of have that force feedback. It's not supported currently on Steam, but they said it, by saying not yet, you're assuming that they will eventually.
I mean, if Sony do, with the whole the consoles not kind of being completely sold out until March, this could be another revenue stream for Sony.
Yeah. But the fact it works for now is still quite nice. So it will work in the Steam beta, and then in the future it's only going to get better, I suppose. This is what I was saying to you a couple of episodes ago. Was if the PS5 DualSense controller, if support for the new features are added on PC, that's going to give me a reason to buy that controller.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. Switching over to Xbox now, Lawrence. Do you want to take the next little bit of news?
I can do. I can try.
You can try.
No promises. No promises.
All right, we'll give it your best shot.
Sorry, we only agreed to come on this podcast if it was professional. If you guys
we're more professional than you two. Jesus, with our segues.
I only agreed to come on for the rapid newsfire segment. I don't know about you.
Oh no!
No. I've still got it in the bag. Don't worry, I've still got it.
Oh,
it'll be after this.
Oh,
okay.
Have we got a surprise rapid newsfire this week?
I've got a surprise rapid newsfire.
I've got a secret addition to the rapid newsfire. If you wanted to.
Oh my god!
I've got my own news segment ready. If you
want.
Hold
on a minute. Why does everybody have their own news segment this episode? Okay, I'm fine with it, but I'm just.
You know what? You take the Xbox One, and then we'll do our news segment.
I think I better had. I feel a bit. Yeah, I feel like I need to catch up now. All right. So speaking of Xbox, then, Hyped Pixels has reported that the SSD inside of the Series X is an M2 drive by Western Digital, which can actually be removed by the user. Apparently, the M.2 drive that's inside the Xbox One X is a standard M.2 connection. And so that means that if you can get inside of your console, it might be possible in the future to upgrade it. So upgrading your own storage inside of the Xbox, which is a really big deal for console exclusive players, because the biggest kind of downfall of the new systems right now is the storage space. It's that you're going to be installing maybe 2 or 3 next gen games, and that's your entire thing full, So being able.
Sorry, I was going to say, and also when you open up your Xbox to find that hard drive, you'll also see a cheeky little etching. I say etching. It's like molded in a little picture of Master Chief as you open it up.
Oh.
Yeah, when you take the 2 screws off the back, so you have to scratch off a bit of the the legal information on the back of it, and then that reveals the second screw, and you unscrew that, and it takes the back panel off, and at the top somewhere there's I'm assuming it might be one of the drives or sections that come out, but there's a little print of Master Chief in there.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Easter egg. Obviously, we don't encourage anybody to go and unscrew the back of your Xboxes.
That legal thing is probably saying if this label is removed, your warranty is void.
Absolutely,
definitely, pretty much.
But after the warranty is void and you still need some more space, it's highly likely, in the future sometime, if you fancy dabbling in a bit of computery yourself in your Xbox, you might be able to upgrade your storage. So
that is pretty good as well, though, because I know with my Xbox One and stuff, I've had to buy an expansion drive and stuff, so I've got a hard drive attached to it and stuff. But also, say in 4 years, if you don't want to get the new, obviously there'll be a new revision of the console, probably there always is halfway through the life cycle. Yeah. If you wanted to, you could maybe get a new SSD from 4 years in the future with faster read speeds and stuff like that, and maybe you won't have to get the revision if you pay to get a new hard drive, maybe.
Wait, did you just say we have to go 4 years into the future? Marty, we've got to go back for the SSD drive. We didn't get it on the way.
Doc,
I'm just here with my crystal ball, just there,
Oh, yes. 4 years
At
in
least-
the future, 7 terabytes will be the new $100 drive.
The thing is
yes.
at least you can
We've got
do that.
quadruple, triple flops, fucking SSDs.
I don't mean like traveling in the future, but at least you can have external storage with your Xbox One, because right now there isn't a solution for that with your PlayStation 5, I don't believe.
No,
at
there's
least,
not.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
you can go buy like a third party, like I've got a regular, what is it, a Seagate? It's not the official Xbox One, but it's just one that I bought on Amazon because it was on sale, and it's like a
Yeah,
2 terabyte
Seagate.
one. And it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, Seagate WD Passport or something.
yeah, and it just
Quality.
does the job. But I think PlayStation owners have to wait for an official expansion to come out to be able to do that.
That's from Seagate themselves.
Yeah,
So they have to wait for Seagate to bring it out.
Seagate do Xbox branded ones as well, but they're always more expensive when you could just use a normal one.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the stupid SanDisk SD cards that are just Nintendo branded.
Oh, yeah,
and then marked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And I like legitimately, it's like you can buy this SD card, and it's like Nintendo Switch compatible. You must buy this one if you want the play. And it's just an SD card with a Mario thing
Mushroom on.
Yeah, but it's so much more expensive.
I literally, when I got my Switch on Amazon Prime now, so within 2 hours, I got the one that was 4 times the size, and it was 20 quid less. It was 4 times the size and 20 quid left just because it didn't have a Mario mushroom on.
Oh my god.
I apologise about the dogs. This happens every
This is
time
true
we
Get
record.
Real.
This is true Get Real, but the gate
that's
gets
it.
rid of
We're-
it. Don't
We're
worry.
officially
true,
branded
true.
now.
We're getting the full experience over here
Yeah.
this week, which is very nice.
It's
Oh my.
If I
yeah,
just
you're
stay
getting the full
quiet,
crossover.
if I just stay quiet, the gate will get rid of it. So don't worry, just carry on.
I'm putting it in. I'm leaving this in. You're the
That's
captain. Well, that's
Right,
it for
next
the
news segment.
No, that's it. That was the last bit of main news.
Did either of you two have news or any news you want to present before I do my quickfire flash news?
I've got some esports news, but I don't know what Sam's got.
I can start off the quickfire news. I've got one
my
story to start it
Oh,
off, and
God.
then you can follow
Okay.
it up, Lawrence, if you really want.
Okay, right.
We'll do our
All right.
regular scheduled, unscheduled quickfire news round then.
Let me just reload. Hang on.
So Sam, you can start, and then Lawrence will just have to take over.
It's fine. I've got an LMG.
And then I'll do
I'm
mine
ready.
at the end.
I'm hoping that the dogs stop barking. Stop barking.
Start barking.
Okay.
We'll just
I want,
boop, boop.
I want reloading sounds in the background. Just make it sound
I've got the
distant.
stopwatch ready for this quickfire mode, guys.
Sometimes when this gets a bit extreme, me and Chris actually just stop and wait in silence and just listen to them bark, and then I'll leave a little note and say, "Cut this bit out." So
It's the only bit of editing we do is getting rid of the dog breaks.
Yeah.
thanks to my 3 very small yet loud dogs.
Small
Do
in
you want me to
size,
do my-
large in spirit.
Right, I think we're
Do you want-
safe. Right, are we
Do
ready?
you want me to do my news before the quickfire, or do you want me to go afterwards?
Let's go after the quick. Let's do
Okay,
the quick
okay.
fire first, and then we'll.
Go, 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 go.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Right. Halo Infinite Craig the Brute meme is now an official t-shirt worn by Microsoft employees.
Wow.
Wow.
What? That was a mouthful.
Just a bit, wasn't it?
He's been practicing all week for this moment.
That was a very quick fire. Go, Lawrence.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, you've thrown me off.
Where's the quickfire?
Look, the gun's jammed. Hang on.
You've got 2 seconds left on the timer.
Party Shooter Duck game has a big update adding 8-player mode.
Okay.
Creators of the 13 remake apologise for technical issues after a disastrous launch.
How was it a disaster?
I don't know. Keep going.
No
keep
time.
Going. You've ran me over.
Keep going.
Ubisoft is adding achievements to Assassin's Creed Valhalla after all.
How did they have time to do that in the middle of a
Time Loop
heist?
because Assassin's Creed Deathloop is coming to Steam after all.
Did we make it?
Halo 4 is coming on November 17th.
Wait, what?
What was that?
Halo 4 is coming to PC on November 17th.
Oh, great. So it's out now.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Came out yesterday.
Came out yesterday. Great. Anything else?
No, you disrupted me too much.
Right, well, I'm sad to report that the podcast's been cancelled because you were 30 seconds over on your rapid fire news segment. So
we thought we'd have a good
the
run.
higher ups have sent me a memo down.
You are the higher ups. What do you mean? Sent a memo down? Down where?
Just Sam and Chris texting each other. What do you think? Nah, this is not going well. This is it.
No, we've got one of those pneumatic tube things, you know, that they've got round like postal services. We got one linking our houses.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
my.
like one of those
Messages
tubes
come down.
that you chuck a letter in and it like shits over
They
top.
used to have one of those things in my local pharmacy, and then they got rid of it. And I was just like, well, why did you put it there then if you were going to get rid of it? It just wasn't good enough, apparently.
So much infrastructure for nothing.
Literally.
Opticians love those. They
Why
love
is your
those
pharmacy
things.
big enough that it needs a pneumatic pipe? Like, that's for like a post office, like depot or something.
I don't know. It was like you would just say that you wanted something, and then they would go in the back, and then it would like come out the tube going around the ceiling and come down in front of the reception desk. It's like, what the fuck is this?
It's like-
Pharmacy.
it's
was
like
not
How
big.
big were the people near you that they needed a massive pharmacy that big?
It wasn't a big. The pharmacy didn't change in size. It just
It didn't. It still hasn't.
no.
Welcome
it
to
just-
the Get Real Logistics podcast where we talk about
where we talk pneumatic pipes and other logistics. I'm your host, Tubey McTubeface.
Don't worry, guys. I've played enough. Satisfactory to know what I'm doing. Right?
Yes, exactly.
I've played enough American Truck Simulator to know the logistics of the truck from Colorado to New York.
Brilliant.
But serious, did you know what the Craig the Brute meme is? Because without any context, I don't feel like that's going to land.
isn't
you.
Is that
the
the really
guy?
badly rendered? Oh wait, was that the boss one that had the speech, but it looked like it was 2 polygons?
No, so this is basically during that same Halo gameplay where he's like just shooting and taking out
Taking names.
the Covenant. There's a moment where a brute comes really close to the player, and if you freeze it at just the right moment, it's this really like a bitch-faced looking brute.
I feel like I have seen it.
And if you search Craig the Brute on Google, as you're listening to this podcast, you will see the absolute bitch face brute from Halo Infinite. And apparently,
It just looks like a gorilla, just like, bro.
It does, bro.
yeah,
Really?
apparently they have it on T-shirts, and Phil Spencer confirmed that they wear them around the office because it turned into such a massive meme. They got his face printed.
Oh
Apparently,
my
he's
God.
the official Xbox mascot now.
The Xbox Series X.
Yeah, he's the new official Xbox mascot.
Oh,
According
no.
to Phil Spencer.
Well, that was an eventful quickfire
The
news
memes.
round, wasn't it? And I'm hearing,
I don't like sharing it. I feel. Oh no, it's mine.
I'm hearing from the higher ups that Chris has got some esports news that also needs a very time-consuming sting made for. So, Chris, I'm just going to let you do whatever, and I'll just try and work around it.
Okay. Cue the newsreel. What was it that we were saying? Esports news. Johnny
It needs to be like
Esport.
CNN, doesn't it?
Yeah. So should I do like a broadcaster voice? This week in esports news. No,
If this gets popular enough, we're gonna have to bring you back every single episode. You do know this, don't
No,
you?
so there has been some pretty big news in the world of esports this week, especially in the Call of Duty realm. Anyway, so I want to first off bring the tone down to then bring it back up. Sadly, Firo, one of the professional Call of Duty players for the Florida Mutineers, has passed away at the age of 21.
That's very young.
Oh, that is very young.
Exactly. He was like prime of his career. He was about to go so far. Like, he brought the Florida Mutineers up from like a nothing team almost at the beginning of the season to they were winning homestands and stuff. And he was just like carrying like so hard. Like, he was such a good player. He will be missed from the community. Obviously, all the professionals out there and previous professionals and stuff have paid their respects. He died of multiple heart attacks. It wasn't anything
Jeez.
suspicious. It was, yeah. So his family wanted it to be known that it wasn't anything, anything worrying. It was just sadly a really unfortunate health situation. But there it is. To bring the mood back up.
Yeah,
Now
I feel
after that
sad
one.
for
So Massive news in the CDL League. So, like, both these stories are entwined. But, so, LA has 2 spots in the CDL League, and one of them has now been purchased by 100 Thieves. That's right, 100 Thieves and Matthew Nadeshot Haig are back in the CDL with LA Thieves, is what the team is called. So they stepped out of season 1 because the buy-in price was too high and they didn't really think, they weren't sure how it was going to go. They didn't know if it was going to be fiscally sound for them to do. So they stepped back. But after some swapping and changing around with the league and stuff, they decided to come back into the league. And they have got a lot of old 100 Thieves team members back from some of their old rosters. So I reckon they're going to be a formidable team to go up against this year. But I think they stepped out of it in year 1 because it was like $1 million to $1.5 million buy-in for the league.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a huge...
Like, it costs a lot to buy one of these franchise spots. But in other news surrounding that, so the reason that they got a spot was because it was previously owned by Optic Gaming, who had been bought out by Infinity, and then they got bought out by Immortals. So the trademark was sort of all up in the air, and obviously they lost Hector Rodriguez, who was the founder and like the heart and soul of 100 Thieves. Sorry, not 100 Thieves, Optic Gaming. He left and made Chicago Huntsman over at NRG organization. But he has now reacquired the Optic Gaming branding. So we've now got Optic Chicago. Huntsman have changed to being Optic Gaming now. It's so good to be back. The Green Wall is back. I've been a massive fan of Optic Gaming since we were kids, pretty much, since they first started. When we all went to gaming convention back in the day, I was there watching them in the tournament, got a photo with Hector and stuff like that. Man, it feels good to be an Optic Gaming fan again. Like, having to step away from a year and watching the games and not being able to cheer for Optic Gaming and just like hating the sight of them. Now it's back. Feels good. It does feel good.
So just for some context for people who don't really understand the esports league and stuff, can you just explain a little bit about where those teams, like how that fits in with kind of like how a league works or things like that?
Yeah, so basically what they're trying to do now with esports to make it more recognized sort of formidable sports category within like the Western world, they are starting to structure it a lot more like football or real sports. So they started off with like, obviously there's loads of different leagues and stuff, but Overwatch League and Call of Duty League are now selling off they're selling off franchise locations, and then people are making teams around those locations. So it's sort of like how you have Manchester or Liverpool in the Premier League. You now have the London Royal Ravens, you have now LA Thieves, you have the Chicago Huntsmen, who are now Optic Chicago, you have the New York Subliners. So it's given an identity to all these different brands instead of just having like 60 teams out there which need to play loads of games to see if they qualify for a tournament, and then you play in that tournament, and if you win it gets you a better seeding in the next tournament. This is a league now, so every other week there is a home stand which is set in one of the different cities, and obviously they have a tournament between the teams that are invited to them, and you get a certain amount of points for winning each a different position. So if you come first you get more points obviously than if you came last, and then at the end of the season you have the championship playoffs. So it's like the top 6 teams from that then go into the playoff brackets.
All these leagues
so
sound
it's basically
like
making it.
These leagues sound a bit like battle passes.
Do they?
Well, the seasons, and you have to,
it sounds like sports, Richard.
I wonder when other sports are gonna go more like real sports, quote unquote. Like, when's the egg and spoon race gonna get nationalized?
I mean,
teams?
As soon as like organizations are pumping millions into it, you know what I mean?
Well, the poultry business, it's big, it's booming.
The egg industry needs
and everybody's got a spoon
support.
in the house. It's a common household name these days, spoons.
All we need is like the money men behind Man City to just be like, right, we're putting together an egg and spoon team, 250 million quid going into it. This league is like starting.
Right, you're in charge of that now, Lawrence.
Okay, I'll update you in a few weeks.
Yeah, okay, great.
So yeah, there is some other stuff in the esports world, but they were like the main headlines. Like there's different organizations picking up Warzone players and stuff. Vicstar is finally joined Royal Ravens
Oh,
as an
really? Big Star
organisation.
is part of the Royal Ravens.
Yeah, he joined Royal
Wow.
Ravens on the Warzone team. So Vic Starr from the Sidemen, he was like looking to join an organisation for his esports side of stuff, separate from Sidemen. And there was rumours for ages who he was going to join, but he's joined London Royal Ravens because he's an English lad. So
These big teams, they can play any game, right? Or
no, so like generally, like you've got an organisation who then, like with the franchise league, so the organisation, so say NRG now owns the Optic Gaming branding. They've got Optic Chicago, which is their Call of Duty team.
yeah,
But then under the Optic Chicago branding, they might then start a Warzone team as well to enter Warzone competitions.
Right.
So basically, they pay the players a salary, and if they win prize money, then it goes into the company and they get a cut of the prize money.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well explained, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was a fantastic esports news.
Esports. That was a great esport.
You have to do an official outro.
That was a great esport moment.
I've been Chris Captures, and thanks for listening to the Esports Report.
Thanks, Chris. Next, we're going to move on to
You've been
Over
practicing
to
that
Sam
in
with the
mirror,
weather.
Sam. What's it looking like out there? Thanks.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Oh God. You
He's
could
not
say
wrong, though. He's not wrong.
I gave you the perfect opportunity to say it's pretty cold out there and segue us into the next section.
Oh, sorry,
They,
let
they
me-
don't know us.
let me-
It's not,
Let me retake that.
Okay. Sam, what's the weather out like that? Well, I'm not
We
going to
all
say
knew
it
this was
again.
going to be
Keeping
carnage
that in.
going in,
That's
didn't we?
staying
Not saying it again.
That's staying in.
Between the temperature and the wind out there, you'd think there was some kind of cold war going on outside.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That
We're in.
moves us swiftly into our main conversation today.
As swiftly as
Please,
going
as swift
through
as we can,
a wall.
honestly.
Oh my days.
We have all been squadding up. This is why you two are here today. It's because we've been playing together the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, mouthful of a game
That's what
title.
we've been doing.
Well, I don't know what you've been doing.
I'm technically still playing it, so I mean,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So am I.
Oh my God. I had to turn it off because I couldn't, like, there's only so much lobby music I was prepared to listen to while we did this.
There's this thing called a mute button. Maybe you want to invest in that?
I'll just invest. Where do I buy
Savage.
this mute button?
absolutely
buy one for you?
savage.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I can set you up with one, lad.
So, what do you guys think of? Cold War so far? Then we've had a good go on it now. We've played quite a bit of it. We've all played different parts of it.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Initial thoughts.
Anybody
Don't
wanna
all
take
jump
us
at
away?
once.
Jesus Christ!
I just had Johnny Esports, so I'm letting somebody else talk.
I'll go first then. So yeah, it's good. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised by, like, I think Modern Warfare really revitalized the franchise, and we've spoken about this already. But to me, that kind of Warzone not only being the one thing that we keep going back to, but I think like the battle pass system has just made it extremely addictive to keep up with.
Yeah.
And not only did Modern Warfare feel really good to play, but Cold War takes a lot of that same aspect. So already being quite hyped up about it. To me, it's awesome. I really like the setting that they've gone with because it's different to what we've had. It's not World War II. It's not modern. It's like in a cool era where we've not really touched upon too much.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah, I've played a bit of the campaign. I've played a lot of zombies. I've played a lot of multiplayer. What they're doing with the campaign's really good. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's good. I'm pleasantly surprised by. It's better than Infinite Warfare. Put it that way.
Yeah. Well,
Not difficult.
I mean, Bugsnax is probably better than Infinite Warfare. Let's be honest.
Godfall's probably better than Infinite Warfare.
Now,
Well,
wait,
let's not get too crazy. Come on.
I just nearly spat my water everywhere.
Lawrence, what did you think of Cold War?
Well, I've only played a little bit of the campaign and mainly zombies. I haven't actually been able to touch the multiplayer yet.
Okay.
I have grievances with it already, which I hope will be fixed.
You see,
It's good, but it's not quite Modern Warfare for me, and I'm with Sam. Modern Warfare has like got me back into Call of Duty after years of not playing it. So I mean, it has the potential for sure. I'm not writing it off just yet, but I do have some grievances with it.
Yeah, I mean, Sam can attest that when me and Sam started playing, when we got up on the Friday morning to start playing, I had a few games where I was getting a bit on the multiplayer. I was getting a bit annoyed by some things, but actually after getting used to the differences and just kind of, I think a lot of it was just unlocking the basic gear and like just getting trashed by people who had already unlocked loads of stuff. By the time I'd like dialed in, because another thing was I was playing on controller instead of mouse and keyboard, which I'm not used to because of my shoulder. It's kind of like what I have to be doing right now. Once I kind of got used to it and into it, it changed like my mind on it, like totally. And of course, zombies has really helped with that. But now I'm like always pumped to play multiplayer, even though we kind of lack a lot. There's only like 8 maps at the moment or something of the basic multiplayer. Yeah. So that's the only kind of thing that's a bit like, oh, come on, you can do a bit more, you know. But I think that you will get more into it the more that we do play it. So, yeah. Chris, what about you? What did you...
Yeah, I'm like right in the same sort of headspace that you guys are. Like, a lot of people would argue that Modern Warfare wasn't that great. Like, I know a lot of people did not like how that game played. I liked how that game played, and like all us four liked how that game played. But Black Ops has always been my series of games. The Treyarch games have always just played better for me. I've always been better at them. I was pretty good at Modern Warfare, but I'm better at Black Ops games. And this feels like a nice middle ground between the previous Black Ops games and how Treyarch games feel to play, mixed with now the modern sort of gameplay from Modern Warfare. So it feels like a really nice middle ground. Yeah, I'm so glad that Zombies is back. That feels really different but really good to play. Yeah. Haven't started the campaign yet, but I know I'm going to love that because the other Black Ops games have been really cool. So yeah, I'm really positive at the moment. I think obviously there's a lot of server issues and cross-play isn't integrated amazingly at the moment. We're having loads of issues trying to get in the lobbies together. Like you said, the map count is nowhere near high enough. But overall, I like the way it plays, and I think these small little like niggles that we've got with it can get fixed. So as soon as like the server issues and stuff are fixed like that, I think I'm going to be pretty solid with this game. And it feels like something that I could keep playing after even like when next year's Call of Duty comes out, because I like the way it plays.
Well, at that point, we'll have gotten the Onslaught game mode finally on PC and Xbox, so you can look forward to that.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah. But the fact that this has zombies and we're going to get new zombies maps and content throughout the year, it just means that like we're going to keep playing this game for like another like 3-4 years until we get the next Treyarch game with maybe more zombies on.
Here's an interesting question, because I know at the moment Warzone has like the battle pass, right? And it's currently not even part of Cold War. It's going to be transitioning over when the first season starts in December on Cold War. Right now, when you hit Warzone, it takes you out of Cold War and puts you back in Modern Warfare. So, but that's got the season pass. So how do you think they're going to roll out like DLC content, like, you know, new zombies maps and things like that? Do you think it's going to be free content, or do you think it's going to be part of a battle pass? Because it used to be DLC packs, right? It used to be map packs.
It used to be. They announced that all DLC content is going to be free. So
you heard it here first. Even if you don't, free content.
You heard it at the zombies reveal first, like a month ago. But yeah, like so they said. So even if you didn't get the battle pass with Modern Warfare, you still got the maps. Like certain content is rolled out to every player. It's just obviously the unlockables that you get through the season pass. So this year, like all the zombies content is going to be free, which is amazing because it's going to bring so much of the community along. Because I remember when we were younger and stuff like that, sometimes like on Black Ops 1, say when the new map pack came out, if like one of us couldn't get it that month or something, like we just couldn't afford it or something that month because we were like 14,
we were kids
15
without jobs.
Yeah. So it's like, Mum, can I have some pocket money? Can I please shoot some Nazis in the head, please? Oh yeah, they're not real Nazis, the zombies. It's fine, this game. Yeah, I'm on the moon.
Yes, I play with my friends, not random strangers.
Yeah,
What is
like,
this
back
audio
in them
drama
days,
popped into? What's going on?
It's a new radio show.
Get
it
real
means that,
radio
like,
drama. Jesus.
It means that the entire community can go along the journey together and stuff, and it's not like blocked off behind a paywall and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm
That feels
super
like
excited
it's-
for the new
it's-
zombie story.
That feels like the norm right now. The whole free DLC, that feels like very normal now to the industry, and that's that's great. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either like you get buy like an expansion pass where it's like it's going to be like the whole size of the game all over again, or they roll it out for free over a period of a year or something, isn't it?
Yeah. They didn't really give that much extra in like the deluxe edition of the game, did they? It was kind of just like
No.
some cosmetics and some COD points, and that was about it, really. So
They're pushing the COD point aspect of it, aren't they? That's where they're getting
Yeah.
like the residual income like throughout the year is going to be through COD points to get new skins and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a better, like, you guys have obviously talked about loot boxes on the thing. It's better to do it like that, and like if people want to support the game by buying new in-game customization which doesn't affect how the game plays, that works a lot better, and it doesn't cut out any part of the audience either. You don't need to load into a separate playlist just because you haven't bought the battle pass and you don't have the new maps.
yeah,
It
definitely.
works a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. Sam and Lawrence, you guys have played some of the campaign, right? You played some of the campaign because I've not played that yet, and Chris has not played that yet. So, do one of you want to talk about what you've played of the campaign so far?
Yeah. So I'm up to the mission called. It's no spoiler with the mission name, but it's called Operation Green Light, Red Light. That I'm up to.
Yellow light, red light,
I've
green
actually
light.
really enjoyed.
Green means
Green
go.
light, red light.
Red lorry, yellow
Go.
lorry, red
Red,
lorry,
stop,
yellow
red
lorry.
means
Stop,
stop.
go, stop, stop, go, stop. No, yeah, it's really different, and I'm sure Lawrence will attest to this as well, but it's a really different approach that they took with the campaign, because no spoilers for obviously what happens in the campaign, but the gist of it is that you create your character and you get to pick like certain traits and stuff that you want to help influence how you play the game. So you can pick like from a variety of different stat boosts and stuff. And when you, as part of creating your character, you can choose a backstory, and that actually changes how you interact with some of the other characters in the campaign, which is kind of interesting. There's this kind of like I don't know what you'd call it, but like if for example like the what's that bit on Destiny where you go where all the traders are and stuff?
The tower.
Yeah,
The tower.
There's a
Jesus.
bit where it's like the tower from Destiny where you can like interact with the other characters, and the choices that you make affect that, and you actually get choices in the campaign, which is cool. And
That's pretty cool.
it's awesome.
It's very RPG.
It is very RPG. Yeah, it's definitely got an element of RPG to it, and that's very, very, very different for Call of Duty. But it's different enough where it makes it interesting. The setting's really good. Just some of the, Call of Duty campaigns are always really known for like the big action set pieces that they have in there, and just some of the moments in there. It definitely doesn't skimp out on that. And yeah, I really like it. Graphically wise, like when you've got some of the cutscenes in the campaign, it is phenomenal. It's absolutely insane. Like you've got, you saw it as part of the trailer, but you've got like President Reagan in there, and you've got all the close-ups of the characters, and it you can just absolutely see where it's like moved over in the last few years. But yeah, I dig it. The campaign's really interesting. Like I said, I'm only like about a handful of missions through, so I don't know how far through I am. But yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, I don't know whether you are on the same page, Lawrence, or whether there's anything else that you think about.
I'm like in two missions in, so I'm still right at the beginning. But even like that has kind of captured my interest, and I do want to play through the whole campaign. But yeah, I completely mirror what Sam said. It's obviously got the RPG elements and the character creation thing I already knew about, and I was really, really excited because I was like, how are they going to incorporate this?
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing more.
Yeah, I didn't really know about that until you mentioned it, so it's really cool. And what I think is nice, and what makes the campaign such a refreshing thing, not only obviously the mechanics of the RPG stuff, but the fact that the setting is kind of like that in between not really future and not really like the past kind of thing. It allows us to see things like Reagan and have a story like that we can appreciate a lot more as well. And it's not something that we can imagine it kind of being more realistic because it's based off of, a lot of real things that happen in a story way,
What's also quite interesting about some of the campaign missions is like obviously you'd have like stealth missions and stuff in old Call of Duties and things like that, but there's actual moments where you can choose to go in stealthily and there is like a mechanic for stealth. And then, or you can choose to go all guns blazing, but then that might affect some of the other objectives you'll have in that game. And like even like side objectives in certain missions, you have like a way of which you can go around that and you can affect the final outcome of it, where it's like a choice tree, so it gives you, and you don't know which way that's going to pay off. It's like some of the achievements, because I had some of them flash up when my console was on standby. You know how on Xbox Ones it shows up like progress on some achievements, and one of them was like do a certain mission and then redo that certain mission with different choices. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I say, it gives you that little bit more commitment. And I normally rush through Call of Duty campaigns and just get them done. But with this, I kind of like stopped myself and thought, you know what, I'm really going to kind of take my time, find all like the evidence collectibles, because the collectibles are actually something that will help you with side missions that you can choose to do. It's cool, man. It's
that replayability as well, isn't it? It's like you're able, it gives you a level of replayability by asking you to go back and do it with different choices and stuff.
Yeah, you find you're remembering your choices. Yeah, you're remembering your choices so that when you go back, you can do something else and see what that outcome is.
I think the Black Ops stories to me have always been the most interesting with Mason and all those characters.
What do the numbers
They've always been the most interesting.
What do the numbers mean?
And like, I feel like they're going to tie back into that with the whole Red Door thing in this game, and that's going to be like a really interesting thing. Like you said, like the Black Ops games for me aren't quite let me rush through this as fast as I can, whereas the Modern Warfare ones normally are. Like the Modern Warfare ones have cool characters and cool moments in, but it's sort of like you kind of want to get to them from the beginning to like the beginning of Act 3, something cool happens, and then the final mission. With the Modern Warfare games, whereas I think the Black Ops ones have a lot more twists and turns, and they do keep you more engaged in the story. So the fact that it's so replayable as well, it seems really good, and the fact that for someone like Sam, who normally would just speed run through a campaign, is willing to like take the time and appreciate the story. I think credit to Treyarch for the story that they're putting together for it.
I mean, it's more out there than like, I think it's a nice comparison to the Modern Warfare, because the thing about the Modern Warfare campaign is that it was all very realistic. And a lot of the warfare you see in it is, there's these like bloody viral videos where you get real Navy SEAL reacts to this mission in Modern Warfare, and he's like, that's pretty accurate. It's like I watched something about, the Modern Warfare mission where you go through the building. In London. Yeah, you go through the building and you go through the house in London, and then you go from like room to room and door to door, and it's very much like you go up the stairs very slowly, and it's quite realistic into how you would do things. Some things are a bit questionable, but based off what the real person reacted to it saying, but most of it is like, that's actually what you'd do. Whereas the Black Ops campaign, there's moments in Black Ops which are out there, and that's nice because it takes you back to that whole bit craziness going on in Call of Duty, where you're just in a city and all of a sudden there's like 2 million people with machine guns shooting at you on rooftops that have just appeared out of nowhere. But it's nice because it's a bit refreshing versus that.
Black Ops definitely seem like, sort of like wartime thriller movies. That's what they always seem to be, because like we had Vietnam, we've had the Cold War, we've had bringing it into like modern day, but it was like a modern Cold War with some of the later games and stuff like that. Obviously lots of nuclear standoffs all the time and stuff, but so Black Ops like to go larger than life, but in this really cool sort of theatrical way. So like you said, compared to last year's Modern Warfare, it is like back to basics with the Call of Duty. Although I did love
Yeah.
last year's campaign. I thought it was really cool to have this new take on it. Thought it really worked for the setting of that game. But now being back in the Black Ops universe, it's just it works so much better.
For me, it kind of like Black Ops is like almost the Guardians of the Galaxy style, while Modern Warfare's the Avengers style. So the Avengers like super serious, while Guardians of the Galaxy can like go completely off the rails. It's that kind of
See, for me,
contrast.
Black Ops is Guardians of the Galaxy, and Modern Warfare was like James Bond.
Both are pretty good comparisons.
Modern Warfare was Black Hawk Down, was what it was compared to Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I
I did like the fact that Price was ex-military. Like the guy who played him in Modern Warfare in the new one
it
was
ex-military,
ex-military, and he was a Scouser, which makes him better. Fight me.
Fight me.
I saw
But the
actually.
fact that they had ex-military people playing the roles just lended credence to it, whereas now they're going, fucking, yeah, let's blow up a fucking plane on a runway.
Yeah, that's
It's
cool.
quite
A remote
interesting
control
though,
car.
because I feel like they've done a similar thing with the operators in, or they will do a similar thing with the operators for Black Ops, because I swear the Portanova operator in Black Ops for multiplayer looks exactly like someone who plays one of the hostage negotiators in Money Heist. Like literally, I can't stress.
I think he looks like Baron Zemo.
No, well, Beck definitely looks like Baron Zemo. But yeah, the Portanova's like the ginger, redhead woman on the other side. But literally looks exactly like this person. But yeah, no, it's it's good. In terms of multiplayer, it's basically still Call of Duty. Yeah, very much. Not really much to say in terms of multiplayer. In terms of multiplayer and not zombies yet, but I'd be quite interested to hear what you guys don't like about the game so far, because I think a lot of people have had a bit of criticism around the multiplayer.
Well, for that, I did look into Metacritic because I wanted to see what the user scores, and it's not good overall. Like, we're looking at 4.0s across the board on user score.
Out of 10?
Out of 10. That's worse than Godfall.
Yeah, but
Wow.
I feel like you can't really go off Metacritic scores and stuff like that for Call of Duty, because they always tend to have pretty low scores, because there's obviously big haters out there, like the people who prefer like the Battlefield games. And obviously Battlefield comes out a lot less regularly than Call of Duty, so when they want a new first-person shooter, they hop back over to Call of Duty and they don't like it. And also, a lot of people just like, they are, even within the Call of Duty fan base, there's a division. There's like Modern Warfare players and there's Black Ops players, I tend to find. So yeah, I don't really base off much judgment off the scores, but I think the lack of map diversity is an issue. But I like the way that it plays. What do we all think about like the pace of the multiplayer?
Some of it's good, and then there are some maps where, like Miami, for instance, I find the games in Miami, like let's say just team deathmatch or something, like halfway to 3/4 of the way through the match, like the game's dead. Like, it's so difficult to find anyone to shoot, and like there's nobody dying or anything like that. So there's a couple of maps like that. And I also really think that Cartel is a very messy map for like just what I think personally. I love the.
See, I really like playing on Cartel.
Yeah,
I don't know why, I just click with it.
I think it's just personal preference, really. Like, I love. I don't know the name of it, but the one that's got like a plane in the middle of a warehouse for like test runs.
Classified.
Yeah. So I like that one. But I was saying earlier, while we were playing some multiplayer with you, Chris, earlier, that we're waiting to find like a map that's going to be like, is there going to be one that is the classic map? Like we've had, you have Rust on Modern Warfare 2, Shipment on Modern Warfare 1. There are tons of classic maps that you could probably think of and pull off the top of your head from different Call of Duty games. But so far, I haven't really seen one in Cold War that I've gone, that's going to be a classic map, Because there's only 8 main multiplayer maps anyway, so there's not much. And Nuketown, that's a classic map, but it's not.
But that's a recurring map already, isn't it? Like it brings with it already a judgment with it. But we were also going through the games, the maps from Modern Warfare. It's like, which one of these maps is going to be like really favorably remembered in years to come? It's like Gunrunner is a really interesting map to play like competitively and like actually putting in effort with the team. Hackney Yard was pretty decent.
Yeah, Hackney Yard
but there's
is
no
good.
like, what was the other one that I mentioned? They're not even my favorite maps on there. I can't remember now. See,
I don't
I've forgotten
remember
already. They're not up there with like the rusts or the shipments or the new towns and stuff.
No.
So,
Yeah.
but it's also hard to tell until like a year or so down the line. It's like, which map do you wish got remastered? Like, which one do you want to jump back onto? Like, Fire in Range has been remastered on all the Black Ops games pretty much. Like, Fire in Range is a really good map. Got remastered into Studio and stuff, but it takes a while for you to realize like. It's normally by the end of that game's life cycle, you're like, okay, these are the maps that I like. These are the maps that I want to play.
Yeah. But one thing that I do like about the multiplayer is like I love all of the gun progression and like leveling system and stuff. I really like it in this one. That you have to unlock things as you go and just the way that progression, especially with like the camos, really feel nostalgic to back when you would grind camos and prestiges and stuff. Like I feel a lot more tied into the nostalgic Call of Duty that I used to love this year than last year with Modern Warfare, definitely.
Yeah, I think the way they've done challenges and calling card challenges and stuff like this in this game, obviously it's the way that the Black Ops games has always done it, and the way that Modern Warfare games used to do it until last year. I think last year's challenge thing was too messy. There was too many different challenges in different locations. You got dailies, weeklies, season pass ones. You got officer progressions. You got then just challenges that you can select which ones you're doing. There was too many and it was too messy to get the stuff that you wanted.
Yeah,
whereas on
indeed.
this one, like you can clearly give yourself a goal and you can work on all of them at the same time.
Yeah, and it's not just going to give you like a sticker that you're never going to use or like a spray, you know. It's not like, because that's what you'd unlock in a lot of these situations. It would be like double XP tokens or like a spray or something. You'd be like, well, you know, I don't care about this.
A dongle for your weapon that you're never going to look at.
Well, the dongles are depending on the dongle. I mean, I've enjoyed a couple of those dongles, Chris. There was a sword dongle. There was a sword dongle. They have dongles in Cold War. There's dongles in this one. So
yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, but you're not pushing for them all the time as your rewards, are you? Whereas with this, like I remember, like back on Black Ops 2 and also on Modern Warfare 2 and 3. I remember, like, I'd be like, oh, I love that camo, so I'm going to push for that. Like, yeah, I'm going to shoot down every air kill streak there is going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you see one that you like and it has more of a sense of identity, whereas on last year's Modern Warfare, you were just kind of like, I don't feel like I'm really getting anything for completing these challenges. You didn't really want to push towards it, except for just getting XP to reset your progression.
yeah.
I mean, one of the things Richard brought up then was feeling like classic Call of Duty, and I think that goes also into the gameplay because they got rid of the mounting system, which I sorely miss, but it does feel that kind of back to basics, back to the foundations of
Boots
of
on the
Call of
ground
Duty.
gameplay.
Exactly, boots on the ground, yeah.
I think
Like-
although this one has loads of different weapon stats, it is a lot more user friendly. It's easier for people to just jump in and play.
Yeah, definitely. I love
Like,
the wild cards.
It's a
and I
lot more
love,
beginner friendly.
yeah, I do love like all the customization and they gave you pretty good starting loadouts and they're not too complicated. So I think that's quite nice. Then as you unlock new things, as you level up, which brings me to the next question, which is, what do you all think? What do you all think of the prestige system now? Because it's different than previous years.
So run me through how it works properly, because I haven't checked this out properly. So is it like a mixture between how it used to be in last year's? Is it?
So I mean, I might be completely wrong to all the people who know this off the top of their heads, but as far as I know, there is you get your 1 to whatever level it is, 55 to prestige, and then every time you prestige in a season, you get a prestige key, and if you keep hold of those prestige keys, there'll be a prestige shop that opens up soon, where you can buy exclusive items only with those prestige keys that you've earned from prestiging. So it kind of motivates you to work towards prestiging, which is something that I don't think we've really seen that much in the past. And then also, So I'm not 100% on all of it yet, but yeah, it's just interesting that they're giving you a lot of motivation to work really hard towards continuing to prestige, and you can have up to like 1,000 prestige, and then you get like prestige master, and it's like just we don't know what's going to be in the shop yet. But the only way to get those items, from what we've heard so far, is that you're going to need those prestige keys.
So is prestige 50 like 50 levels above 55? So you're hitting like 105 like you would last year. I'm guessing you don't need to hit level 55 50 times to get to prestige 50.
I'm still up in the air about whether it's... I mean, I would probably go with what you said.
Nobody's going to... Yeah.
Yeah.
So prestige 1 will be level like 56.
Yeah, possibly.
So does that reset every season as well, like it did last year?
Yeah, so it's going to reset every season, and then you'll be back to like no prestige again.
But it'll just drop you down to level 55, ready to start your prestige levels. You're not going to... It's not like classic prestiges where you get to level 55 and then you get reset to 1 and you need to unlock all your gear again.
I'm not sure if it's been confirmed or not yet, so I couldn't tell you.
Because... I feel like the two things were being in conflict with each other. I do kind of miss that old grind. I think they did it best in like Black Ops 2 or 3, where when you prestiged, you got a prestige unlock. So you could permanently unlock something. So you could get like your favorite AR, which you don't unlock until like level 40 or something.
Yeah.
I think that was great, but this seems more in key with like what they're doing with Battle Pass integration.
I think it'll depend really on what the shop has.
I think that's good, being able to choose your reward at the end of it. I think is a really good incentive for prestiging, because like on last year's Modern Warfare, if you got to, what was the max level? Was it 160?
It was 155.
155 every season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you leveled up to 156, but you didn't get the 156. It was just to finish the final level.
Yeah, there was no prestige last
you only really got like a blueprint at the end of the season. And normally it wasn't a very great blueprint anyway, and they didn't feel like, unless you just wanted completionist emblems like we were going for and stuff like that, you didn't really feel the need to progress and like keep playing the multiplayer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't feel as rewarded for it. Whereas if you get to choose your reward at the end of it and like the pretty good stuff, because you're only limited to how many keys you can get, that'll be more interesting.
Yeah, for me a big deal of like the multiplayer and zombies, which we'll get into in a sec, is that the fact that this year I actually feel like I should be working towards these prestiges and should be working towards these like challenges and stuff, whereas last year it just felt like I wasn't really motivated to do that. I was only ever jumping on just to, it was social gaming for me, Whereas like today, I've been on zombies by myself in solo, just grinding out a camo, like I've just been grinding camo out on the XM4 just to try and get it going. And I think that's it makes such a big difference to how I feel about the game, just as a game in general, because it does take me back. I just feel like I will be rewarded for the effort I'm putting in now. But now we should probably talk about zombies from there. Chris, you were so excited for zombies, but but how much did you absorb before it came out? Because I watched the first trailer and then I kind of left it and just was waiting,
Yeah, so I was staying up to date with everything that was sort of like released through the official channels. I wasn't like looking at any leaks or anything or wild speculation. I was like the YouTubers that I was listening to their input of what they would like to see, because obviously they grind zombies out all day, every day on all the old games and everything. So they know sort of like what was going to be the best system in their minds. I think what we ended up getting, I think we were thinking it was going to be closer to the older zombies, but it's really different. This is more like the multiplayer mixed with the zombies. Like, it's a fresh new take on the zombies, which I think is nice because it's a whole new storyline. Like this is the new zombies. This is the new standard for zombies. I think it plays really well. I think it's got a difficult learning curve. Like, I think the earlier rounds are a lot harder than they used to be. But if you can get set up like you got set up, and I was watching you grind out like the level 30 rounds once you were like kitted out.
Yeah.
And like it seems like it sort of gets a little bit easier then, until obviously you want to exfil. But it seems like level 1 to like 20 are a bit harder now, because of the different rarities and weapons and stuff. There's a lot to get your head around. It's not as easy as just load in, buy a weapon off the wall, and you can survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do love the way it plays. I think it's really interesting. I think time will tell. I've only played it on launch day with you guys. I've not played Zombies since then.
Yeah.
So I need to play a little bit more to see how I feel compared to like Black Ops 2 Zombies, Black Ops 3 Zombies. I think for me, Black Ops 2 Zombies is probably my favorite. How it played and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited. I want to do more of the Easter egg myself and find out where the story's going. There's all this intel that you can collect, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Like Sam said, you got the intel in the story, you got the intel in the zombies and stuff as well, which is going to unfold the story. Because that's why I play Zombies. Like, it's a cool game mode, but then there's all this deep, rich lore behind it. I love when you can choose to dive into something more. You know, like, you can like Star Wars, or you could be like us four and you can dive into the lore of Star Wars.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I like Zombies as well. So I'm really enjoying it. But you guys have played more of it than me. You've got more time to hands-on with the game.
There's a lot of really welcome changes to Zombies this time that I just think are like such good quality of life changes. So like having a mini map that's got like a constant UAV or spy plane on it, just so you can see on the map where zombies are, definitely gives you a bit more of an edge.
Yeah, huge advantage.
Yeah, I don't remember, but apparently it was in the previous Black Ops where max ammo reload your weapon at the same time. I didn't quite remember that, but just other things like being able to choose like your starting weapon. Being it just it being a lot more straightforward, because I always felt like with the last Zombies, what kind of put me off is I felt like it was a little bit overcomplicated with like the gobblegums and stuff. Like,
yeah,
I didn't quite enjoy that because it felt too much micromanagement. But I like how on here you can progress and you can make yourself like you can improve your perks and improve, like there's more, like you said, it feels like you've got a reason to be playing those things now to grind towards something.
Yeah, I think that this one has so much more micromanagement than Gobblegums. Like Gobblegums you could take or leave, you know what I mean? It gave you a boost if you wanted a boost.
Yeah, but it's a micromanagement.
This is so much.
It's a
There's too many currencies in this one for me.
Yeah, but it's very similar to multiplayer, and it's similar to Modern Warfare, like in terms of the loadouts isn't any different to what you'd have in multiplayer. The improving some of your skills is a bit different. I think, in game, I think the different currencies that you have when you're playing are a little bit more complicated, but if it's just a case of getting used to the currencies rather than having like different rarities of gobblegums and what they do and make sure you're using them, but you can only have so many, and if you use them all then you won't have any. But with this, it feels like when you go back into another Zombies game, you are either better, or all that grinding that you've done now kind of pays off in terms of like the attachments that you can have on your starting weapon. If you want to carry that weapon through and like pack a punch it and improve it, there's just a little bit more to it. The only thing that I'm a bit conscious of is, obviously, as we've seen already, that when we play this solo or with a group, we don't really have a problem surviving on Zombies, and the main challenge right now is just trying to do the main Easter egg or the main quest. But I'm a bit conscious that you're going to feel way too powerful on Zombies once you've improved all your loadouts and you've got like all the weapon type improvements, which improves like all your damage, and then you've improved all your perks. It's like you could easily then just, I mean, you got to what, level 35, round 36,
yeah,
and you were having no trouble. You could have carried on past level 50 and maybe started having trouble at level 50, but if you had all your improved perks and stuff, and you had had all that extra buffs to your weapons on top of the pack-a-punches and on top of the other things you do in game, it almost feels like you're a little bit invincible. Like I'm hoping that maybe future maps that they release are more challenging then, if you're going to go and start these maps and be an absolute tank in the first place.
See, I love like the layout of this map. I think it works really well, but I really disagree with you on like the micromanagement side. Like like you were saying with all your gobblegums and stuff like that, that's all micromanagement stuff outside of the game, which is a hell of a lot easier to micromanage outside of the game than it is with a horde of zombies following you. Like after round 5, your basic weapons do jack shit unless you can find enough salvage if your teammates aren't capping it all themselves. Like, I was getting shafted the other day because you guys were just getting more salvage than me, so I wasn't able to upgrade the rarity of my weapons at all. So at that point, I was doing no damage. It was taking like a clip and a half to take down one zombie. I've got 50 zombies following me. Like, it's so difficult if you can't get the resources in game. And then it's like, right, do I use my resources to upgrade my armor, or do I use it for my weapons and stuff like that? And like, the weapons become so ineffective so quickly that I think that's what I'm not a big fan of. Like, micromanaging inside of the game while you're being chased by hordes and hordes of zombies, and you're trying to keep track of the Easter egg and like keeping track of all that sort of stuff and keeping track of 3 different currencies, I think is so much more harder than just outside of the game in a lobby. Okay, I've got enough Ethereum or whatever it used to be called to like get a better gobble gun, which I probably won't end up using in the next game anyway.
I think maybe it's because there's no middle ground. There's no kind of like, you're either playing with you're either at a disadvantage or you're okay. Like, I don't know whether it'd be cool if they could release a feature that would mean that you'd be able to share not essence, but maybe just the salvage stuff. That'd be cool.
I think that would be good. Yeah,
That would
like
be
being
nice,
able
yeah.
to exchange some currency. Like, because the other day when we were playing, Sam was like pretty much all kitted out. He had maximum armor. He had a golden legendary weapon and stuff like that. And I was like on a green weapon still. I had no enough salvage to even repair my armor once.
Yeah.
And I was
Like,
even worse.
I couldn't even upgrade it once. Lawrence was getting game-breaking bugs where he couldn't even change weapons.
Yeah.
Like so he just had loads of resources but fuck all to do with it. So like in that case, if you could swap resources between your teammates,
Yeah.
then like a rising tide lifts all ships, doesn't it? Like if somebody collects all the salvage but they don't have any need for it, they could pass it to someone like me, and then we can get to higher rounds together.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like in Warzone, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like dropping your cash in Warzone to get your teammate a self-res kit and stuff.
Yeah, because if you've gone down, right, then it's like if you come back in, you literally start with like nothing again. So if you don't have enough cash to get yourself going, then you know, if let's say in that situation Sam was able to share his like salvage with us, then that would even him out. So yes, he's making a sacrifice for himself to aid the team. So then if he goes down, then it's up to us to kind of pull our weight more then, you know? Like, I feel like that would be a good improvement to the game. But they have already they've nerfed the ray gun. They've done tweaks.
Ronald Reagan. President Ronald Reagan.
Yes. And they will continue to make tweaks, I guess, based on how people are reacting to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I think it's just really great. I love the map. I love all the new
It is
features.
super fun to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the whole thing. I wish there was even more to upgrade, because once you get up to that point where, like, I was playing solo, but I was on wave 35, and I had a Pack-a-Punch 3 ray gun. I had the fully upgraded XM4, and I had a chopper gunner. I had my Aether shield, and there was nothing else left to buy or upgrade. It was just survive, buy armor, survive. And at that point, it is just a case of, well, what are you doing? Are you trying to get to high round? Are you trying to do the Easter egg? Are you trying, like, there's nowhere else for you to go other than...
Well, that's always the issue with zombies, isn't it? It's like once you like get kitted out, it's basically like, how long can I survive for? It just becomes a grind at that point. You're just trying to edge up the leaderboards until you stop having fun.
Yeah, it
and
does. Yeah, that's true. And I like the exfil gives you a chance to leave, and still win. But yeah, I obviously at round 52, I believe, the zombies start super sprinting. So there is that. And then I think that their health does have a cap, but the damage that they do might still increase. And the elites that spawn, they become so powerful. So I know that there's obviously, the longer you do go for, the zombies are getting harder and there's more coming at you, but you're not really able to fight back further. I think that's just kind of what I mean is I just would like there to be a way, like even if it was like a really drawn out process that would take you maybe 10 to 20 rounds to get to, but then when you reach that point, you're on level with the new zombies, and then then you have another chance to go for an even higher round after that. I don't know. I know it's always that way, and I know it's just kind of one of those things. I'm just being nitpicky. It's just if I could improve the game any other way, it would be that I wouldn't be capped and maxed out by round 35, because high rounds are going to be where we get the most fun out of zombies in the end. It's going to be us figuring out, okay, how are we going to get to the highest round? Who's going to get to the highest round? Can we get to the highest round together as a team? That's going to be like, that's the next goal, is like, how far are we pushing the boundary? So
yeah,
just being able to do more of that is the only thing I could really ask for.
Just interestingly enough, just so I don't forget to mention it, they're doing double XP from Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, which will be 6 p.m. UK time, through to for 48 hours. That's across multiplayer and zombies as well.
Although you probably won't be doing it on zombies because it takes so much more time to level up in zombies, anything, than it does in multiplayer. That's what I've kind of found from playing zombies quite a lot.
I think that's so zombies players, if they just grind zombies and they don't play multiplayer, like the progression feels earned. Like you said, like I think it was Sam saying, like you don't just want to be like, if I play one game, get to round 50, I've fully maxed out like 7 weapons, and I can drop into the next game and I'm so overpowered now.
I guess so.
I think that's like a balancing thing, so that if you play multiplayer, like the amount of games that you play, you keep up and you build your progression to stay in line with everyone else. Whereas with zombies, how many games you play on that is sort of in line with it. You don't want to over level, because one game of zombies lasts ages. You don't want to do everything in like your first game if you last a long time.
Yeah.
I sort of lost what I was saying halfway through there, but I think it still made coherent sense.
I think it does. I think it's probably we've probably been here long enough now at this point.
Definitely.
I could just talk about zombies forever. It's just one of those things.
We can tell.
I think once we find out more about the storyline of where this new Dark Aether storyline is going, maybe we do talk more about zombies.
Yeah, we probably will have to do another esports
This
news
is just
with
like
you guys coming in and...
Well, if I can just slide in here, kind of cut between you two, gushing over zombies. I'm fairly new to zombies.
Yeah.
At the original one. And I'm enjoying it. It's all right, but...
I'm sorry,
I think if it's not a game mode... I think if it's not a game mode, you really...
Just
adding in another voice, because me and Sam have been sat here while you two have been gushing.
Oh, you can cut it any time. We're not going to be...
We can't get a bloody word in edgeways. Not inviting these two again. Not inviting these two.
Me and you will run a podcast, Lawrence.
Yeah, we'll run a podcast. Get real talking. It'll be silent for the rest of the whole podcast.
Yeah. And me and Chris will start a zombies one. Get real zombies.
Yeah.
We'll get real campaign.
Get real dead is the zombie podcast.
Oh, get real dead. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've had enough for you guys now, so you can go.
Well, fine then.
Yeah, piss off the lot of you. We've got another podcast to record.
You do, yeah. Right, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming to chat about Cold War. We're going to have to play a lot more.
Welcome.
Thanks a lot for coming down. Do you want to let everybody know where they can listen to you if they aren't already listening and following you guys?
Do you want to take the first half of this that we have very well rehearsed, Chris?
Yeah, very well rehearsed.
Wait, you normally do the first bit, so you do that bit and then I can do the bit after.
Okay, well, obviously you can check out the regular Get Real podcast on its own feed, but generally Get Real, all of our socials are in the same place. So you can check out Get Real on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @GetRealPod, and you can email us at getrealpoduk@gmail.com.
Don't use the email address for anything dodgy.
Yeah, because we're getting a shed load of junk right now. Yeah, whoever you are out there, Simon in Chicago.
Simon. Minnesota. No, Michigan, wasn't it? Michigan.
But yeah, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. Let us know what you'd like to see. What are your thoughts on Cold War? What's your thoughts on the latest gaming news that we covered off? And Chris, how can people find and support the podcast?
I think the best place to support our podcast and this podcast as well, leave us a rate and review on whatever podcast network you're listening to us on right now. Also, if you go to Podchaser and leave a rate and review on there, it will syndicate it to every other podcast distributor. It's amazing. But the best thing you can do, just share the socials, share the podcast on your socials. Don't you agree, Richard and Lawrence? Don't you think that's the best way for us to grow? If everybody just shares us with one friend even. Shares us with 2 friends.
These guys are pretty good, Lawrence.
I know, I don't like it. I feel, I don't know. I mean, yes, that's what you should do. Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
Lawrence doesn't think you should share us. Lawrence wants to see the podcast crash and burn.
But if you want to check out...
outed.
If you want to check out more of a film and TV based conversation, that's what me and Sam do over on the normal Get Real podcast. This is obviously the gaming podcast for all your nerdy gaming stuff. But what did we talk about on the last episode? Mandalorian episode 3 and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So
we talk about Star Wars like these guys talk about Call of Duty. I'll tell you that.
every week at the moment.
Why am I not on there then?
COVID is slow, bro. So we've got 3 episodes of Mandalorian now. We're talking about that every week.
Hang on, you just said you talk about Star Wars. Now you talk about Pokemon with Slow Bro.
I did think that, but I was like, I'll leave it. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it is a gaming podcast, so Slowbro is very relevant.
It is, yeah.
Galarian Slowbro, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, thanks, guys, for coming down, and we've had a nice time.
Did you just call me a nerd on a gaming podcast? Get out of here, nerd.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Rich. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. I'm really struggling to sort this out now. It's like,
This is carnage.
how do I get out of this conversation?
Well, I'll wrap it up
Calamity.
for you. I'll wrap it up. Thank you for checking out this episode of the Get Real Gaming Podcast. Make sure you check out Get Real as well. Add it to your podcast feed. Make sure you subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.